problem is that you suffer from homo unerected, which means basically is that your wing is hugified not by a woman but by a man.
All right, horns up, metalheads. Time for another edition of Rock and Metal Revival, and it's more rock this week, don't you think?
Yeah, and we're going to hugify it.
Yeah.
It's going to get hugified.
Hugified.
But not by a man.
No, not ever.
No.
But we're welcoming to the show a member of one of my favorite all-time bands. I've been a fan of Cheap Trick for probably 40 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Since the early 70s.
First concert I saw was Cheap Trick.
Really? Where'd you see it?
Headline in Pecatonica.
Yeah?
Pecatonica free fucking
fairgrounds. At the fairgrounds?
Yeah. With AC/DC, with Bon Scott.
Yeah.
And,
wow, you're really...
Molly Hatchet.
You're dating yourself now.
I am. I'm old.
All right, well, we welcome Daxx Nielson to the show. He's the drummer for Cheap Trick, and we're going to talk to him about their new album being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and what it's like to be in a rock and roll family.
Yeah, really.
His brother's really talented, too, his brother Miles.
I heard he's related to somebody in Cheap Trick.
That's what I've heard. That's probably how he got the gig.
I'm going to have to ask him about that.
All right, so...
you think that might be it? He probably got easier to get to the auditions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so like I said, it's a little more rock than metal this week, and I get to hang out with this guy on Saturday night, so I'm looking pretty forward to that. Eric Brittingham going down to Nashville.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm going to hang out with him and Brandon Gibbs. And
cool.
So what do you say
play
we
some
Cinderella?
Saturday Night Live?
Exactly.
Saturday Night Fever stuff?
Little Saturday Night Fever stuff, some Bee Gees and some Cinderella. And I hope they play this one. This is Bad Seamstress Blues kicking off this edition of Rock and Metal Revival. There's brand new music from Miranda, and We Are the Enemy on Rock and Metal Revival. And
where are they from? You don't know?
I don't know, but I met them a couple of Friday nights ago with Shaman's Harvest.
Oh, okay.
Good dudes, man. They fucking killed.
Cool.
It was a great show, and they want to be on the show, so we're going to be hooking that up here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Check out Miranda. They got a song on their last album that was kind of a bigger hit for XM Radio called Satisfied. And we'll probably end up playing that on the next show.
I got satellite radio now.
Yeah.
Got it on my phone. And
how do you feeling about that?
It's all right. It's cool. A couple of those shows are kind of let down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, dude.
On the Boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of them are like, wow, I thought this would be fun and funny or something. No,
that's what people think when they turn this one on.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's sad. Sometimes you just feel depressed.
Yeah,
after
you're like,
done.
God, those guys are idiots.
Wow, but then you feel better because you're like, hey, it could be worse. I could be like those fuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're just here to make everybody else feel better about themselves.
Well, hey, dude, did you see that now that Rock Rage Radio has started a video television again, a music video television?
Oh, no, we got the face for radio.
Radio,
not TV. MV TV?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
Check that out through Rock Rage Radio. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they asked us
to be doing your topless show?
No. I don't do that anymore.
No.
I saw, you know what? Hey, a guy sent me a picture today, said if I had a ticket to Trump, I got a free lap dance at the Isabella Queen.
Oh, nice.
So, hey.
That might be worth it.
Might be worth just having a ticket.
Yeah. Cool.
So what do you think about that?
Some
great albums getting released this weekend.
Yeah.
The new Blackstone Cherry.
Okay,
Cheap Trick is coming out with their new one.
We might have something new something to play off.
We do. That. We have a new. We have the new single "When I Wake Up Tomorrow" that'll come up next hour. And and hey, how about Metal Church?
Metal Church.
That new Metal Church came out last week, 11, and it's
blowing up. Have you gotten the whole thing yet?
No.
Either have I. What the hell?
I gotta we'll probably have to buy that one.
Man, freaking who's the promote? Man, he's bad.
What?
Because he usually we usually get a chance to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I got to go buy it.
I don't know. Right. He hasn't sent it to me.
I can do it.
I'll buy that. I like that CD.
I like Metal Church.
So you got
usually
that.
If they're good, even if we get them free, I go and buy a copy anyways.
You do.
Just to support the artist. So
exactly. That's the kind of guy you are.
Hey, if it's good, I'll pay for it.
All right.
That's
so
like my women.
You're like your women, exactly. All right, so go out into the stores and buy new music. Buy the new Cheap Trick and new Blackstone Cherry. Blackstone Cherry is going to be coming around the area real soon, so we're looking forward to that.
Cool.
And coming up next hour, we will talk to Daxx Nielson of Cheap Trick. How many times have you seen Cheap Trick?
Probably only about 3 or 4 times.
See, I've seen him probably 10, 11 times.
I saw him at that silver anniversary show where they had the Rockford Symphony Orchestra with them and shit. I was at that one, but yeah, only a few times. Yeah,
I saw them. They opened the Rockford Metro Center, the first show ever there.
Yeah,
in 1980. I saw them on the Stop This Game. All Shook Up, I think, was the name of the album.
Cool.
And I saw him on the Dream Police tour, and I saw him a couple of times. And then I didn't see him for a long time. I think the last time I saw him was The Flame, that Lap of Luxury CD when that came out. Yeah. Saw him there a couple of times. And then lately I've been going, like, when they come to Riverfest or they come here. I love Cheap Trick, and Robin Zander's voice.
Riverfest, yeah.
Robin Zander's voice is good.
He can still hit all the notes, which is awesome.
I watched on Access TV the other night. They did live at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
I would love to see a show at Red Rocks, dude.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Because, hey, your name's Red. You go by Red.
And I rock.
And you rock. So,
all right,
I mean, we already knew that.
Exactly.
Red Rocks.
Exactly.
It's actually a place, too, though. So we could have Red Rocks.
Red
Rocks.
At
Red Rock and at Red Rocks.
Now, don't confuse people. All right,
I'm fucking confused. All right.
Coming up, we got News of the Weird. We've got Talking Real Metal, and like I said, next hour, Daxx Nielson. But right now, here's our friend Veronica Freeman. This is Benedictum and 4 on Rockin' Metal Revival. I think they wrote this about Brett Favre.
See, I think they should have went one more. They should have 5. 4. They just cut it off. I think they should have really pushed themselves and went for the 5.
That's on the next album, dude. Don't tell people.
Shh. Oh, shit.
Veronica told you that.
If you're looking for a show that's entertaining and informative, keep looking. Rockin' Metal Revival.
There's Crocus from the CD Headhunter and Screaming in the Night on Rockin' Metal Revival. Going back to the 80s for that one. I always dug Crocus. I dug that album.
Yeah, that was a really good album.
Yeah.
Headhunter.
Yeah, that
was rocking, kicking ass.
Actually, I saw them open for Def Leppard when Def Leppard still kicked ass.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and Crocus was the opener.
Nice. That would have been a good show.
That was a good show. All right, coming up, we've got News of the Weird, and it's always easy to find News of the Weird, but if you ever find some and you want to send it to us, rockinmetalrevival@gmail.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Send it to us. We'll look at it. Submit it. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't go out doing it yourself to get on our show.
Just to get on the show.
'Cause that's what these folks do. It's
Steve and Terry have been doing it for years.
It's getting old.
Yeah. All right, masked robber foiled after unfriending victim on Facebook.
Nice.
Riley Smith was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Police in Canada caught a masked armed robber after he unfriended his victim on Facebook. Riley Smith, 20, stole about $750 when he held up a Subway sandwich store in Montcalm, New Brunswick, Canada on the 12th of November.
They have crime in Canada?
Yeah, but the employee that he threatened at knife point was actually, quote unquote, a friend on his social network site.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Smith disguised himself with a mask.
Oh.
But the robber's victim became suspicious
Didn't
after he
recognized the voice, eh?
Give me all your money, eh? And
yeah,
I'll take a Canadian bacon sub there,
and some donuts,
some donuts, eh? Some krillers,
yeah,
and a few beers. Anyways, the robber's victim became suspicious after he deleted him on Facebook after the heist. And then Dudley Do Right and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police matched Smith's DNA to a sample taken from a bandana found dumped in the restaurant parking lot.
Wow, they got like CSI stuff going on
up in
there
Canada. Yeah,
way to go, guys.
Yeah, way to go, eh? All right,
they're not the hosers we thought, eh? Those guys got it figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golden Man won't win Oscar for his hit and run crash.
No.
He painted himself into a corner, it seems.
He was gold?
Yeah. A man coated in gold spray paint was arrested Wednesday on suspicion of driving under the influence after he crashed his car into 3 vehicles in Berkeley, California.
Dang.
The shimmering suspect, identified as 21-year-old Damaje Cook, attempted to elude police only to have a wheel fall off his car.
Dang, man. I hate when that happens.
Bad luck, man. Police said their pursuit began when an off-duty officer witnessed the collisions, and while en route, they received a description of the suspect being gold.
Oh, no.
They painted him gold.
Get the gold guy. He's easy
gold
to
member.
pick out.
It's gold member.
Pretty easy to pick him out. Yeah.
The officers approached the suspect and confirmed that he was indeed gold. The 24-karat crook claimed that he was painted gold for a photo shoot.
Nice. Okay.
Cook was medically cleared and subsequently arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence and hit and run.
Yeah, I bet.
Can I paint this you gold?
Nice.
I love that movie.
All right. That was the one I didn't like that much. The gold member.
I love that movie. All right. I don't like it anymore because Beyonce's in it.
Yeah. Come on.
Man arrested for not returning
Racist.
VHS. Yeah, you and your Donald Trump t-shirt. All right. Man arrested for not returning VHS rental 14 years ago. And this is no joke. Freddie got fingered.
Is that what the movie? That's the movie?
It's going from one bad joke to another. North Carolina man is speaking out after he says he was slapped in handcuffs for not returning a VHS rental more than 14 years ago, and now the movie's star Tom Green is coming to his rescue.
Holy shit.
James Myers, 37, says he was driving his daughter to school Tuesday morning when he was pulled over by Concord police for a broken taillight. It was at that moment he was informed that there was a warrant for his arrest for not returning the 2001 movie Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, damn.
They should just arrest him for having bad taste.
Yeah, for freaking renting that.
He goes, I thought they were joking when they first told me.
That movie was so bad, I just threw it away.
So did Tom Green thought they were joking, too. He goes, I just saw this, and I'm struggling to believe it, said Green on Wednesday night. Meyer said that he vaguely remembers renting the comedy, which was a 4.5 out of 10 star rating. And it was included in the Razzies as 2002's worst movie.
Nice.
After he was informed of the warrant, Meyer said he was allowed to continue on his way to take his daughter to school under the promise that he'd turn himself into the police department later that day. He thought he'd arrive and it'd get all sorted out. Instead, he found himself booked for a third-class misdemeanor, which is punishable by a fine of up to $200.
Dang.
For just watching a shitty movie.
Yeah, for not taking it back and saving all those people who would have ended up having to actually watching that because they were stupid enough to rent it. You saved all those people, all that traumatic, not having to go through that. So they should be giving him money.
Money, exactly. Yeah. And last but not least, in our own hometown, my hometown,
local
strip club dancer bites man's crotch. Nice. A Rock County strip club dancer is accused of biting a patron in the crotch, according to Rock County Sheriff's Department. The 29-year-old Milwaukee woman was arrested on suspicion of battery after the incident reported early Thursday morning at Diamond Gyms in the town of Rock.
That's where I used to go. Been there plenty of times.
Listen to him, used to.
No, I haven't been there in a long time.
According to the report, a customer told the deputy he paid the woman to, quote-unquote, do her thing.
Do your thing, baby.
Yeah, she put her head in his crotch and removed her head around before biting him.
Moved her head around. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
The deputy
she was giving him some head.
The deputy who took the call interviewed the dancer, but said she was too intoxicated to cooperate.
Oh, they let him drink?
Yeah. According to the local paper, the Gazette, that the deputy reviewed security footage that supported the man's story, and they arrested the dancer.
Nice. Way to go, dancer.
Is that a rap?
Tiny Dan? No.
No?
Not that I wouldn't be able to tell anyway. But if they did, I'd know.
You'd know.
Tooth marks on your junk.
Yeah.
It's a dead giveaway if you got teeth marks on your junk.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hang out there, so.
Yeah. They check you before you go in.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't have teeth marks on your junk when you go in there, so you're not like falsely accusing them.
All right, that's going to wind up news of the weird. Coming up, we've got talking real metal, but right now, going a little old school. Here's Van Halen and DOA on Rock and Metal Revival.
That's why I stopped going there, man. Drop
all
your
the
drawers.
all the bite marks
let's
on your
check
junk.
the junk. Check the junk. Come on, junk check.
Oh, here's the junk dealer.
Here's your latest hard rock and metal news on Rock and Metal Revival.
All right, horns up, metalheads. Time to grab those little bastards and put their heads next to the speakers. It's time for some learning.
And even if they aren't bastards, they need their learning.
That's right.
Get your learning on.
That's right. It's time for talking
Take
real
notes,
metal.
Take notes. There will be a quiz.
Yeah, there'll be a quiz later.
Show.
Seems Black Sabbath Geezer Butler, the music industry today, is unrecognizable from when we first started.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, it's called technology.
There is none anymore.
Yeah. Stuck Mojo reunion fell apart for the same reason it didn't work the first time, says guitarist Rich Ward.
They can't get along.
Well,
None of them like each other that much.
they do as Fozzy. That's pretty much Stuck Mojo.
Well, yeah, it's a singer.
Yeah, that's true.
Singer. Lead singer syndrome is very not good. That's what they're suffering from.
We broke this story. In this moment at Hell Yeah, to join forces for the Hell Pop tour. Also on that tour, Shaman's Harvest.
Oh,
Our buddy Nate and every guys at Shaman's Harvest are out on that tour.
Oh, you didn't tell us?
Yeah, I did last week.
You told us?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Maybe I should listen.
You should listen.
I should pay attention.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Once the show's over, listen back to it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. All right. Axl Rose and AC/DC photographed at Atlanta rehearsal studio. Sounds like that's a done deal.
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't go see that if you paid me.
No, me either.
No, fuck that.
No,
That's
Brian
the way.
Johnson, I'm not going. No. Megadeth Dave Mustaine says the meanest critics are people with no musical education.
And he's fucking dead on there because it's a tough.
It looks like Metallica's Fuel is going to be used in Dodge Predator commercials.
Ooh.
Nice. Sellouts.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie.
Well, come on. The poor guys need their
They
cash.
need their cash, yeah. Rob Zombie says his upcoming Groucho Marx film will be really intense.
Oh, I bet.
Anything Rob Zombie does is
He's going to
intense,
have Groucho killing, slaughtering people left and right.
All jacked
Groucho
up on,
was really a serial killer.
and he was all jacked up on peyote.
Yeah.
The one thing I always remember from Rob Zombie was that Beavis and Butthead scene when they're in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
And the Beavis and Butthead Do America, and they tripped.
Oh, yeah. Tripping on the
yeah. Otherwise, I don't really watch his shit. All right, Slayer's Gary Holt. I want to show people half my age how this shit is done.
Yeah?
Amen.
Go for it.
Hailstorm's Lizzie Hale says it's getting harder and harder to categorize metal bands. Yeah.
You shouldn't bother anyway.
Don't categorize
if
shit.
they're original, and they're not. But there are a lot of bands.
There's
that are
good bands and shit bands.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good.
There's
put them in the
categorize good and
like
shit.
Don't like them.
Def Leppard singer Joe Elliott is back to normal after battling vocal issues.
Yeah, well,
good for him.
Until he has to sing 3 nights in a week.
Yeah.
Or
And speaking of Def Leppard, next week we are going to have a member of Def Leppard on the show.
Are we really?
Vivian Campbell is going to make an appearance on the show next week.
I was hoping it was Pete Willis.
No. I tried to get Pete on the show. He didn't want no to the Willis. He says we're dicks.
Yeah.
All right. Queensryche singer says bands can no longer afford to take a year off from touring.
Pretty much, unless you're Metallica.
Exactly, and you just pick and choose your dates.
And you just sell your songs to fucking commercials. So you just sit at home with your kids and get cha-ching, there's my check.
Sammy Hagar is ready to rekindle his friendship with Eddie Van Halen. Says he doesn't want to go to the grave hating anybody.
No.
Good for him, man.
Now with all these fucking people dropping left and right now at their age, man.
Yeah. Metallica's Minneapolis Stadium concert sells out in less than 10 minutes. I know a couple people got tickets for that. $170 a piece.
No shit.
Yeah, and those weren't the top dollar.
Are good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're lower
good.
level.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Anthrax, Scott Ian. People don't talk to each other more. They just fucking text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. I fucking hardly ever talk on my phone.
Yeah.
I just text.
And Disturbed frontman calls out fan for texting during concert and says, "Are we really that boring?"
I saw him do Sound of Silence
on Conan.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
But
it's not as good as the
not.
Bobaflex version.
Nothing
I don't
near
care.
Bobaflex is fucking right on with those harmonies and everything.
Exactly.
And I figured they would it got a little heavier at the end, but I figured the music would get heavier too.
Yeah.
It didn't. It's like Yeah.
Hey,
could have did something
you
good with that.
Over there, kid, quit texting. We're having a show.
Yeah, are you texting? Hey, put your fucking phone down.
We're not that boring.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we are. Sorry.
That's going to wind up.
Sorry.
That's going to wind up talking real metal. Coming up next hour, we've got Daxx Nielson from Cheap Trick. But
why are you texting while we're doing the show?
Because I'm bored.
Oh.
All right, so here's the Pretty Reckless. This is called Going to Hell, and that's what you're going to get for listening to this show on Rockin' Metal Revival.
This portion of Rockin' Metal Revival is brought to you by...
What's happening, and welcome to the Ladies Man, the love line with all the right responses to your romantic queries. My name is Leon Phelps, and to those of you that are uninitiated, I am an expert in the ways of love. I have made love to many fine ladies, from the lowliest bus station skank to the classiest, most sophisticated, educated, debutante, high society bus station skank. But listen, I'm doing good if you were asking. I got my Cavassier cognac right here, and I'm ready to take your calls. While I am not a psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever, I have done it to a lot of ladies, and that makes me somewhat like an expert. I have a PhD in Tang, as it were.
There's Kiss from their CD Lick It Up, and on the 8th day on Rockin' Metal Revival. And growing up here in the Midwest, two of my favorite bands were Kiss and Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much that was number one and number two on my
ruled.
list.
They both ruled for quite a while.
Back in the late 70s, man, they were the shit, I'm telling you. And still two of my favorite bands. I still love, and I like the fact that Cheap Trick is putting out new music.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
Did I ever
cool.
tell you about the time I went to Nashville, and on the plane with me was Tom Peterson and Robin Zander?
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I got to talk to him in the airport before we left, and then
you
we
kept bugging him, sign my autograph, sign my tits,
you know
sign
what?
my tits.
I still don't have any autographs from Robin Zander.
No?
And it was funny because the next day we were down on Broadway, just hanging out, going bar. You know how I like to go into bars.
Yeah.
I like to make sure that the whiskey's...
Make sure it's fresh.
Fresh, that's right. And so who do we run into down in the street? We run into Rick and Robin and Tom. They're down there looking for songs. No, man, they stopped and talked to us, and...
That's cool.
Very cool. That's what I always liked about Cheap Trick, where they were approachable. And then you and I, we went to that Rick's Picks thing.
That was really cool. All those guitars
down in Rockford.
Badass.
And if you're a fan of Cheap Trick, it's always good to go out and check them out live, because Robin Zander sounds as good now as he did back in 1978. You know,
it's crazy.
And they've got a new CD coming out this Friday, and this is the first single. It's called "When I Wake Up Tomorrow." Cheap Trick on Rockin' Metal Revival, from the brand new album from Cheap Trick called Bang, Zoom, Crazy, Hello. I love it. That's their new single called When I Wake Up Tomorrow, and we are fortunate enough to have on the show with us a member of Cheap Trick. And you know, Jerry, growing up here in the Wisconsin-Illinois state line.
I'd never heard of him before.
Yeah, exactly. We want to welcome Daxx Nielson to the show. Welcome to the show, Daxx.
Hey, guys. It's good to be here.
Hey, Daxx, first off, we want to welcome you to Rockin' Metal Revival and congratulate you on the release of the new album. It's great to see bands from that era of when Jerry and I were growing up still releasing actual new music.
Yeah, for
sure. Yeah, thank you. It's just the first album that I will be on with Cheap Trick, and it's their first album released in 7 years. Oh. They had obviously some legal issues with ex-management, ex-members of the band that took up a lot of time, and we still play. The band still plays about 150 shows a year, so in between all that, you know, we found time to write and record an album.
Well, you know,
and it is awesome.
Well, you know, this first one kind of gives me, and I know this is a cliche because I've heard this a lot, but I think that David Bowie-ish kind of, I mean, Robin's voice a little different on this one.
Yeah, and there's no denying the influence there. But I mean, Robin, throughout the years, his nickname was, and still is, you know, the man of 1,000 voices. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Cheap Trick throughout their career have had ballads. They've had extremely heavy songs. You know, the Beatles had Yesterday, and they had Helter Skelter, too. You know, same kind of thing.
Exactly.
And so this one, you know, I think people will be surprised when they find out who it is. It's a great, you know, in my opinion, it's a great song no matter what. And you hear it and go, wow, who sings that? And Cheap Trick, oh, wow, no kidding. You know, I thought they were this kind of band, or I thought they were that kind of band. And I think Cheap Trick a lot of people either think of The Flame or they think of Dream Police or, different styles, different vibes. They don't only do rock and roll. They don't only do pop. They don't only do ballads. So
exactly, and now Daxx, you've been, like you said, you've been with the band a little over 6 years now. How much involvement did you have in the writing process of this new album?
Quite a bit. I mean, it's a co-written album. I think every song has at least 2 of the band members on it. Everybody kind of brought in their ideas. I think I have songwriting credit in 5 or 6 songs out of the 11. I was there in the studio the entire time, which, a lot of times drummers come in and cut the tracks and then take off. Whereas I was in there to do, just whether it was song ideas or just arrangements or just solidarity, kind of hang out and just write the album together, work on it together.
Cool. Rumor is that you're related to someone in the band. Is that true?
Yeah. Robin Zander's my step-grandma's uncle's brother's cousin's sister's husband. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Hey, now, Daxx, you got to be pretty excited about the upcoming Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. And in our opinion, it was way long overdue. I mean, what's the vibe you get from the band about it? I mean, are they honored, or how do they feel about actually? Because some bands don't care about being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I think the bands that say they don't care are, either lying or they're so huge and they've been so huge forever that they feel like they deserved it. You know what I mean? I think Cheap Trick, it's a total honor for them. It's not guaranteed. I think they've worked their buns off and have had a lot of accolades, but they've also had a lot of downturns and mid points in their life, and it could have been anybody. But I think that the fact that they've influenced so many bands that are in the Hall of Fame already, or are going to be in the Hall of Fame someday, I think they're completely honored, and they would never say that, oh, it's just another day or it's just another thing. So.
I know growing up here in the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, I've grown up as a fan of Cheap Trick, and it seems like the band always is on tour. And after that time, I saw you guys in November when you guys played at the Coronado, and it's the same energy as when I saw Cheap Trick open the time Metro Center in February of 1980. I mean, how do they do it?
Well, that was a funny show because we played in Omaha the night before.
Yeah.
And we had 2 options for flights because we had, it was it's an 8-hour drive and whatever. We had a 6 a.m. flight or we had a 2 p.m. flight. And Rick and I chose the 6 a.m. flight just because we live in Rockford and we wanted to get home and see our wives and whatnot. And then the rest of the other guys, well, we'll take the 2 o'clock. We'll land at 3 o'clock, no big deal. And then a huge snowstorm hit that day.
Exactly.
So,
Oh, yeah.
They ended up having their flights were canceled into O'Hare, so they had to book new flights into Midway, which, if anybody knows where Midway is, it's much farther and harder to get to from Rockford.
Oh, yeah.
So we had the option of either canceling the show or going on about an hour and a half late. And so we just obviously didn't want to cancel the show. So, for you to say the energy was still there was pretty amazing because they were traveling all day and got there late and, put on their stage clothes, warmed up, and we went out and played probably close to 2 hours.
Exactly.
And,
it was a great show.
Everybody stuck around, and everybody in the crowd was completely hammered because an extra hour and a half to drink booze. So. Well,
and and it was lucky enough that your brother was the opening act, so he actually came back out and played longer.
Yeah, he was supposed to play like a 40-minute set and ended up playing like an hour and 40-minute set.
Oh, nice.
I'd say for the most part, nobody gave him any trouble, but, there were some hecklers, but that's fine. He did a great job, and he was humble about it, and he has plenty of music. He's a great songwriter himself, so his band took it upon themselves to fill in as long as they could.
They did a great job.
Well, that's cool. So,
yeah, but
go ahead.
Going back to what you said, though, you say they're always on tour. People ask me like, "Oh, when's your tour start?" And I just say it's always going.
Never stops.
we just play all the time, and we play about 150 shows now, and I think the band used to play about 300 shows a year. So, just never come home, just keep playing, So
yeah. So what was it like growing up with Rick Always was he was always out on tour. Did you get to go out on tour with him as you got older and stuff, or?
Yeah, I'd like summer vacations from school. You'd probably go out for a week or two on the tour bus.
Yeah.
Which was strange, and it's kind of amazing at the same time. But the road's not a place, at least back then, for a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So
imagine.
I saw some things and learned some things that most guys don't learn until they're 20, 30.
Hey, Dax, the other night I saw you guys played Mike McCready's birthday party. I mean, what's that like? You guys out there jamming with Pearl Jam?
Yeah, Cheap Trick's his favorite band. Going back to kind of what I said about the Hall of Fame and bands they've influenced, Pearl Jam is maybe one of the biggest bands of all time. It still plays arenas around the world. Mm-hmm. And Mike McCready, if you actually watch him play live, he throws guitar picks and he jumps around and acts goofy, and it's like, oh, wait a second. I wonder who his favorite guitar player is, and sure enough, Rick's his idol, and he loves Cheap Trick. So for his 50th birthday party, his wife surprised him.
Nice.
The cat got out of the bag early. He found out early because I think he would have freaked out, and she knew that, so she told him. But yeah, we went out and we were the house band, and we played, and Eddie Vedder got up, and Matt Cameron sat in on drums on a track. Jeff Ament, I don't know if you have ever heard the song "Jeremy" by Pearl Jam, but that starts out with the dum ba dum ba. That's a 12-string guitar.
Oh, okay.
Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick invented.
12-string bass, right?
12-string bass. That's what I meant.
Yep.
So, I mean, the influence. If you look closely enough, Pearl Jam is highly influenced by Cheap Trick, and all those guys were up on stage like with their cell phones taking selfies and video, and throwing guitar picks at the crowd and just acting like teenagers again. It was pretty wild to see.
Speaking of bands that were influenced by Cheap Trick this past summer, you got to sit behind the kit in one of my favorite stadiums of all time at Wrigley Field, opening up for the Foo Fighters. I mean, what's it like playing at Wrigley? I mean, that had to be a great opportunity for you.
It was unbelievably surreal. I mean, I'm a Cubs fan. My wife's a Sox fan, but
you still married her?
It worked out. Well, we're better now, but they've won a World Series, so we can kind of both brag a little bit. So, I don't know, but anyways, playing there, it's unbelievable. First of all, playing a baseball stadium, and we're a club band, we're a theater band, and so to be able to play for 40,000 people, because that was actually the second year in a row that we played Wrigley. I think we're one of the only bands to ever open up twice for somebody at Wrigley.
Nice.
Probably the only band. The year before, we opened up for Zach Brown Band.
Oh, okay.
And it was cool because it was a beautiful night, blue skies. When we played, perfect weather. But it was the Zach Brown Band, and I'm not necessarily schooled in their music. I don't really know. I'm not a huge fan necessarily.
Exactly.
But then the next year we played for the Foo Fighters, which Dave Grohl obviously is amazing, but it was completely pouring rain, like miserable, cold, and it was. So I'd say the experience of the Zach Brown Band was better, but the actual vibe of the Foo Fighters was better. So I mean, here I am complaining about playing Wrigley Field twice. Which night was better? Nice. Let's just say it's one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me.
Nice. Well, we went. Me and Red actually went to the Rick's Picks Museum.
Right.
When your dad had the all his guitars and stuff there. I'm a big guitar guy. We're in a room with 12 guitars hanging on the wall and shit here. But is he gonna? Any chance of him doing that again?
It's all ready to go. The thing about museums, which I didn't know, is that they kind of, it's like anything, they have to book ahead and schedule, and the slots are filled. So Rick's Picks, it was slated to do its run, and then a dinosaur exhibit was coming in, and it was coming in no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so by that point, nobody had known that it was going to do as well as it did. It was just kind of a one-time run.
Yeah.
And so then it was too late to find another museum somewhere else and do all the promo. So all the displays are still ready to go, but they're just sitting somewhere waiting for a guy like you to make some phone calls.
Well, we might have to do that.
As soon as this interview is over, we're calling.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're making some calls.
That was really cool seeing all those cool guitars.
Yeah, it was great. And all the old tickets.
Yeah.
He keeps everything in pictures, and
I know. Scraps of paper and shit with lyrics on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest with you, Dax, you've got to have the best seat in the house every night. I mean, you get to see all the generations of fans enjoying Cheap Trick. I mean, like in the Rockford show, you had kids, you had people in their 60s, you people in their 40s. I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling, knowing that Cheap Trick music, touches so many different generations.
Definitely. I mean, it's I think they've had kind of a resurgence because the people that grew up listening to them now have kids and that they're turned on to, and there's not a lot of great rock and roll around these days, so these kids are finding out about classic rock, and, they're 12 years old, and, this band came out 40 years ago, so it's, that's like me going to see the Beatles when I was 10 years old or something, it's got to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's really cool. I used to play for a guy named Dick Dale, surf guitar.
Oh, I've seen Dick Dale. He's badass.
Yeah.
He is badass.
He's still out there.
Left-handed.
He's like
plays
70.
upside down. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, and so same thing as that. It was like you'd look out and there'd be old guys and there'd be young rockabilly chicks, and it'd be just the coolest thing because music kind of bridges the gap. It doesn't matter how old you are anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the one question I got, it's serious too now. Have you ever thought of maybe throwing in some cowbell into like Surrender or I Want You to Want Me or something just to fuck with them?
Always. No, it's always the cowbell's always ready. It's next to my floor tom. And
yeah, we got one ready here. We add it to everything. We're like, no, that bit sucked. We need to add some cowbell.
Yeah. Go on, listen to what song is that? When I go. Hard Day's Night. The bridge of that. When I'm home, the cowbell is louder than Paul McCartney's voice. It's just the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
Exactly. And in Wisconsin, it'll skyrocket you to number one.
Hell yeah.
Anytime you have a cowbell.
Yeah, we think of cheese. Perfect. Cheese flashes in your head as soon as you hear a cowbell.
My favorite thing, besides tacos, my favorite thing on the planet is spotted cow beer.
There you go. And I saw a picture of you on Facebook at some taco place out in L.A., and you're like, oh, my favorite place, and I'm thinking, wow, nice.
Yeah, well, I have some leftovers in my fridge. I stocked up when I got a burrito for there, and then I got 8 tacos to go, so I can snack on them throughout the week.
There you go.
All right, now Dax, you guys, we want to let everybody know you got some cool pre-orders. This album is coming out this Friday, so people need to get on this, and I mean, you guys got some great items.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think we took a lot of time. We went down to Nashville, where our management is now, and we signed a lot of guitars and a lot of posters and a lot of CD cases, and I'm glad that people can have those. That was
speaking of Nashville. That's where I met Robin and Tom for the first time. I was standing outside in Tootsie's, and Robin's walking down the street. I'm like, "Is that what? Wait." And I'm like, Robin, he's like, yeah. He goes, just looking for songs. I'm like, oh, that's too cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, now I see you guys go out, you kick off the tour, or I shouldn't say kick off the tour, but you guys go back out on the road April 1st, and you guys, it looks like you guys are booked up all the way through the summer already. And,
yeah, definitely.
And so you guys are staying busy. You got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We want to congratulate you on that, Dax.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's a testament to you too, my friend. I know. I hope you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm not performing. I'm not being inducted, but I'm. Nonetheless, my family is. So.
Yeah, and
your dad, right?
Yeah. I just got to know when you and Miles and your dad and everybody get around. Is it a musical thing at the Nielson family when you guys all get together, or you guys are just like, no, I don't want no part of that?
Well, I don't know. Do you want like the fairy tale answer or the truth?
I want the truth.
No, there's no music played. We all play for a living, and we love doing it. But we have other siblings that don't play music, and the women in the family don't want to hear us rattle around on drums and guitars.
All right. Well, it has been an honor to have you on the show, Dax, and you're welcome back here anytime. And we wish you all the luck in the world in this new Cheap Trick album. Like I said, Jerry and I
think it's actually number 32 on the charts, on the any charts.
Wow.
We were number one When I Wake Up Tomorrow was #1 on the classic rock charts last week, but this week it's 32 on the all charts.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We're up there with, they're on the band's on the charts again. It's pretty amazing.
Sweet.
It is, and we want to wish you guys all the luck in the world. We hope to catch you out on the road. And Daxx Nielson, like I said, you're welcome back on Rock and Metal Revival anytime.
Bring me some Spotted Cow and I'll show up.
From their self-entitled CD, there's Union and Love, I Don't Need You Anymore. And one of the other things, I told you I was going to hang out with Eric this weekend.
Yeah.
Ian Karabi, John's son, is going to be playing drums for him.
Really?
Yeah.
For who?
For Cheap Thrills.
Oh, really?
With Brandon Gibbs and...
oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that, man.
Who's playing guitar?
I don't know if LeBar is or not. But should be a good night, man.
Hell yeah.
So got my case of Leinenkugels for my buddy Eric because he can't get it down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
you're transporting alcohol across state lines?
No. I mailed it.
Oh, you emailed it?
Yep.
Cool.
You know me, man. I don't break the law.
Oh, okay. I just figured.
Yeah.
Make sure.
So,
'cause, you can't take that shit out of the state. Not out of Wisconsin.
No.
We keep our beer here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that bar in Minnesota got in trouble for selling Spotted Cow?
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because it's not to be sold outside of the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, Nate from Shaman's Harvest goes, dude, this Spotted Cow is off the hook.
Yeah.
And he goes, and you can't get it, anywhere else. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, tour here more often.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Makes a lot of bands just come to Wisconsin. That's how we get them.
All right, so next week we do have Vivian Campbell on the show from Last in Line, Dio, and Def Leppard. We'll talk to him next week. Find out, is Last in Line going to continue on?
Yeah. Find out what's going on, because that's a great album.
Great band. To be sad not to see them out live.
Great them back ripping it up.
Yeah,
Man.
it's good to hear Vivian playing like Vivian.
Yeah.
So, and also, before I go, I want to say happy birthday, brother.
Oh,
you don't look
thanks.
a day over whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I know. I'm 30.
Yeah? 30?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, happy 30th. To Jerry, he'll be celebrating this weekend. Right now, I told him I didn't really appreciate it, but he is wearing his birthday suit here in the studio.
Well, it is my birthday, and what are you supposed to wear?
So
that's why they gave you a birthday suit.
Listeners, that's why we are on radio.
Yeah.
Not on TV.
Yeah.
Take
well,
that.
we do have the faces for radio.
We do have perfect faces for radio. So until next week, don't drink and drive.
Smoke and fly.
Peace.
This brings to an end another edition of Rock and Metal Revival. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell two. Until next time, this is Rock and Metal Revival.
So who put his hoo-hoo dilly in your cha-cha?
To catch the whole show of Rock and Metal Revival, all you have to do is check it out on these affiliates. Megarock Radios on Saturdays from 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and on Uncontrolled Noize Tuesdays at 1 a.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on UncontrolledNoise.com. And make sure that you leave them a message and tell them that you found Rock and Metal Revival on their stations. Enjoy this edition of Rock and Metal Revival.